Live from Seton Hall University inside Walsh Gymnasium, alongside College Hoops Digest's very own Josh Adams, I'm Joey Jarzynka. A brand new era of Seton Hall University Pirates basketball begins today. The 21st head coach in Pirates history, Shaheen Holloway, he comes home.
Fantastic news. The worst kept secret in New Jersey, Joey, but the prodigal son comes home to New Jersey, and boy, there was a packed house here. Basically the whole Seton Hall team, his whole St. Peter's team that just went to the Elite Eight showed up. It was all nothing but love here in South Orange today.
Well, our live hit of Instant Reaction, segment number 18, we got a chance to see Doug Eddert, Hassan Drame, we got to see Casey Nadefo. Everybody was here, in addition to some of the Seton Hall Pirates players, some of which past and present as well. We can now put Ike Obiagu into the past column now, since it was reported that he most likely will not be taking that 5th year of eligibility. But Kadari Richmond was here, Jared Roden was here, Jameer Harris was here as well. You got a chance to speak with him a few moments ago as well.
I did, and Jameer's excited. He's still unsure whether he's going to come back for the next year, but as far as his take on Holloway, the way he could develop as a point guard, he said that was a really kind of strong thing in his favor. So, Jameer seemed like optimistic, so it's hard to read between the tea leaves, but hey, who knows? Seemed like maybe yes. But I mean, his brother's coming next year.
We got a chance to see Director of Athletics Brian Felt basically come up and say that this was his second hire as a Director of Athletics, and it was the exact same hire just twice, 2 times in a row. Pretty crazy stuff when he was over at St. Peter's, and now here at Seton Hall, he's able to hire the exact same person. Pretty easy hire, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so. Dust off the old resume, maybe, put it in a new font, but yeah, it's the exact same hire. But it goes to show that the connection between St. Peter's and Seton Hall is very strong. And the way the Seton Hall fans, when Holloway introduced the St. Peter's team, a rousing standing ovation from the Seton Hall fans. Everyone in New Jersey was behind this team, and the two programs are just interconnected. It's really a fantastic thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a bridge from Jersey City over here to South Orange. Josh, we got a chance to also hear from Shaheen Holloway, too. He really had no words. He was saying about that he did lose his grandmother a few days ago. And for him, he had said that what she wanted was to be buried in Seton Hall blue. That was really something really moving to not only us as media members, but also to some of us here that are alum as well.
Absolutely. And the connection that Shaheen has to this college is unbelievable. I mean, one of his kids is named after the dorm that he and his wife met in. So, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill hire the hot coach. This is a true blue, I guess, hire with Shaheen Holloway. And, you could just see the alumni that were here that were so excited, the administration, everybody else. I mean, it really is a win-win for everybody. And he looked hoarse, but happy to be home for sure.
Well, especially after the 2 weeks that Shaheen Holloway has had, there's no doubt about it that his voice would definitely be a little bit hoarse, possibly a lot hoarse. But continuing on here and kind of recapping this entire press conference, something else too that he had said and he had brought up to one of the writers here, actually just behind us, was that his first set of things that he needs to do, and his first order of business is to make sure that the players are on board as well, because we don't know what will happen here with, as you brought up, with Jameer Harris, Kadari Richmond, Jared Roden. We have no idea what the deal is for some of the players that were already signed here, that were committed here under Kevin Willard. But now with Shaheen Holloway as the head coach, will there be some transfers? Will there be some incoming folks making their way in? Will there be current players making their way out? What do you see?
I see pretty much everyone was on board. You saw by the turnout from the current team today. I mean, it was generally the whole team was here. Trey Jackson was here. Tyrese Samuel was here. As you said, Kadari Richmond. Even players who are graduating, like Miles Kale, was here today. So it seems to me that anything, there's going to be an influx maybe from St. Peter's. If you like, Casey Nadefo was one of the players they speculated that would come over to Seton Hall. So I don't see a mass exodus out from here at all. I actually had a chance to talk to Kadari Richmond, and he seemed pretty excited about Holloway as well. I mean, whenever there's a transition, you wonder, but the segue from Willard to Holloway seems like a pretty seamless one here.
Something else, too, that Director of Athletics Brian Felt did bring up to some of the writers, again, standing in the exact spot where we were, was that it's going to be a little bit of a process. It's not something that it's going to be, a Sweet 16 right away, or could it be, a Cinderella type story again here with, instead of St. Peter's, it might be Seton Hall. But his initial focus was that if it is a little bit of a bumpy road, Shaheen is the perfect person to get them out of that little rut that they may be in here in year number one. Do you anticipate that, or do you see Shaheen Holloway coming right in and potentially just getting them going into March Madness of 2023?
Well, I think they have a lot of good players returning. They have a lot of good freshmen coming in. So he certainly isn't. Kelvin Willard did not leave the cupboard bare for Shaheen Holloway. There certainly is potential for next year's team to be an NCAA tournament team and a potential, Sweet 16 team. But, at the same time, there's going to be maybe some growing pains, as anything else, as you get through the process. But I think Holloway, from day one, he'll be ready to go. But I think there will be maybe a little bit of high expectations after the Elite Eight run that St. Peter's went on, Joey. But, at the same time, I think everyone's so excited to have him on the sidelines that he's going to get even if things stumble a little bit. And it's not like the Big East is going anywhere. I mean, Jay Wright's still going to be there. UConn is going to be there next year, Creighton. So it's going to be a process. This isn't the MAC anymore. He's going to be playing high-level teams all the time. But as he proved in the last NCAA tournament, hey, beat Purdue, beat Kentucky. The expectations are high, but he's certainly the kind of coach that could meet them.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because when you look at what Kevin Willard has done in his 12 seasons here as the head coach from 2010 to 2022, he was only able to accumulate just one win in March Madness. And here with Shaheen Holloway, he's already had 3 wins in the 2022 tournament. And again, definitely not a flash in the pan for Shaheen Holloway as a head coach, but we will see what can happen. And of course, as we did say earlier, Josh, that his first order of business is players. But let's take a peek at the coach's standpoint. Dwayne Woodward, who was named one of the most influential black coaches for this university, has departed, most likely, per some sources of ours. And he will be joining Archie Miller and Rhode Island in the coming days. Official announcement coming as well. Soon, we expect. But Woodward is no longer here. So now that means that, again, we will not know, as well as Tony Skinn, too. He went down with Kevin Willard to Maryland. So in terms of the cupboard being bare, in terms of the coaching staff, you do have one man who not only, in stature is very big, but also someone that can make an immediate impact as the associate head coach in the next administration with Grant Meyer.
Yeah, well, Grant Meyer would be an integral part of keeping the sort of the train going on the right track if they could retain him, if Shaheen Holloway could retain him here at Seton Hall. It's yet to be said. I know there's one spot left in Maryland's coaching staff, so I'm sure there's decisions that Grant has to be made. But to bring him back on the coaching staff would be huge. But I saw a few reporters who are in the know tweet out that they'll be pleasantly surprised with the kind of coaching staff that Shaheen Holloway is going to assemble here. So I'm sure there's some names coming up, and while it's tough to lose quality coaches that you mentioned, I think Holloway will, if Meyer sticks around, it's huge. But even if he doesn't, I think he'll be able to maintain and put together a coaching staff that'll be a winner here in South Orange.
Josh, you and I have speculated about Grant Meyer potentially heading over to Jersey City and taking over Shaheen Holloway's former post over at St. Peter's. But now it's looking like, as per Adam Zagoria, that Rutgers assistant in Brandon Knight, who actually was here in attendance, is the front runner for that job. So that might mean that also Ryan Whalen, who was the possibility, or at one point could have been the successor to Shaheen Holloway. Who knows? He might be coming here.
Yeah, that'd be gregreat. I mean, Whalen did a hell of a job with St. Peter's. He was the director. He scouted all the other. He's the one who came up with the game plan. He was Shaheen's right-hand guy at St. Peter's. I mean, he's the one who did all the advanced scouting. They trust each other. They're like brothers. So it wouldn't shock me one bit if Whalen, if he doesn't get the head role, as you said, speculated that Brandon Knight is the coach at St. Peter's. Wouldn't shock me one bit. He's a great coach. He's an up-and-coming coach, and Seton Hall would be lucky to have him. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's the lifer. He spends morning, noon, night in the gym, so it'd be a nice hire for him.
Well, to conclude our instant reaction segment number 18, again, alongside Josh Adams, Joey Jarzynka, the last thing that we do have to bring up, we heard a lot of speculation that potentially Doug Eddert's mustache was not real, but we did find out today that it sure is.
Yeah, it really is, up close and personal. He's like, I saw him play a few times at St. Peter's this past year, but on TV you always think that these guys are, but Doug's a small guy, really a small guy, but hell of a shooter. And I tell you, he was the biggest star here, I think, besides Holloway. I mean, there were people lined up for selfies. That guy, he's a New Jersey celebrity from here on out. So I hope he cashes in on it, and the amount of people that lined up just to shake his hand or get a picture or get an autograph. He really, from a Nutley resident like myself, it's really something. I hope I run into him in town sometime. I'll buy him a slice of pizza at Ralph's.
Well, that is going to conclude our segment here from Walsh Gymnasium and from the campus of Seton Hall University. A brand new chapter in Seton Hall Pirates men's basketball is now open, and Shaheen Holloway is the new author here for the 21st chapter of Seton Hall men's basketball here from South Orange. Alongside Josh Adams of College Hoops Digest, Joey Jarzynka here. Instant reaction number 18 can be found on all of our social media sites for the Eastern Observer, at Observe Eastern on Twitter and at the Eastern Observer on Facebook and Instagram. We will see you all next time.